How do you size a breaker for your solar panel? The solar voltage should be within the range of the breaker operating voltage, that is general. Then let's come to the most important part now, which is the current of the breaker. How do you pick a particular current? Because the function of the breaker there is to cut off power supply if anything goes wrong. Because if you don't size it properly, you will have two issues. You will either have issues of the breaker tripping off without anything happening, and if that's the case, you are even good. But the second thing that will happen is the breaker will not respond when it needs to respond. For example, when something is going wrong, because the breaker is oversized. So we're talking about fire incidents, damaging a lot of appliances and the like. So sizing of the current is very important. But if it is undersized, you are still even on the safer side, but you still be having issues. So what you need to do about the current is the current of the panel, you times it by 1.56. And how do we get this 1.56? Let me break it down. So let's say you have a 100-watt solar panel, 10 volts, 10 amps, that will give you 100 watts. The first thing you need to do is to add 25% of the current, which is timesing the current of the panel by 1.25. If you have multiple panels, just calculate the total current of the panel and times it by 1.25. So that first 1.25 is the continuous current rule. So you times by 1.25, which is 25%. Then you times by 1.25 again. The second 1.25 is the solar panel safety margin. So you times by 1.25, then times it again by 1.25. That will give you 1.56. So if you're asking why doesn't it give 1.5, since it is 25% with another 25%. So the reason is because you are putting the two 25% together first, which gives you 50%, but that's not the case here. So you first of all add 25%, which will give you around 12 point something amps. Then you add another 25% of that 12 point something amps, that will give you 15 point something amps. That's the current of the breaker you are meant to put for the solar panel. So the next thing you need to do is to check the ones available in the market. For example, in this case, we have a 100-watt solar panel, 10 volts, 10 amps. We'll be needing around approximately 16 amps breaker for the solar panel. But in the market, I'm not sure you will get a 16 amps breaker. So you will go for the closest or higher. So you go for probably 20 amps breaker for that solar setup. And remember, this breaker must be a DC breaker, because breakers has the AC type and the DC type. As you already know, solar panel is a DC type of current, so you use the DC breaker for it. If you learned something from this video, don't forget to click the follow button for more videos like this.